I'm good.
So we'll start Miller Plyman tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Miller Plyman.
Okay. What are you expecting from him?
Hopefully 3 or 4 really good innings. Miller's experienced, strike thrower. He's got good off-speed pitch, and hopefully he can get us off to a good start.
Is that based a little bit on what he did for you coming in the other night against ULR?
Well, that helped. We've always liked Miller. His stuff it's kind of different because he's got a couple different type of off-speed pitches, and he attacks his zone. Again, midweek game, we just feel like that we need somebody to come in there and throw strikes, and someone that has a little bit of experience, and that should be Miller.
And you mentioned some of the other guys in there.
Oh man, I mean, you could see Heston Toll hasn't thrown in a while. Ledbetter hasn't thrown in a while. Possibly a couple of left-handers. I mean, I don't know. You won't see any of the guys that threw probably yesterday for sure, maybe even on the weekend, hopefully. But it depends on what it's going to take to win the game. I mean, we want to win the game, but we can't give up our bullpen too much because we play Thursday. And with travel on Wednesday, light workout, I mean, it'll be here before we know it.
How long your starters have been going and how the midweeks have gone the last couple of weeks with cancellations? Is it almost a matter of there aren't enough innings for the number of guys that you want to see pitch?
Yes, no doubt. We feel like that, we have 4 games this week, but next week we have 5. So some of the guys that maybe don't pitch tomorrow or even do pitch tomorrow, they're definitely going to get to pitch next Tuesday or Wednesday. And, then we turn around and we play LSU on a Thursday night. So those Tuesday, Wednesday games, it's going to be the best of the rest. It's going to be guys that, they're going to have to give us some innings.
Coach, I think you said after the Mizzou series that you wanted to see confidence from the bullpen. Have you seen that confidence this past week, or is there still something that you want to see from those guys?
Well, I want a couple more guys to really step up and give us confidence and be confident, but also instill in the coaches and the players that they're the guy to go to, because there's a few guys that have an opportunity to pitch because they have good stuff, but they need to take it to the game. It's not just about your bullpen, and it looks great. Then you put you in the game and you scatter it a little bit because, as you've seen, all the big innings we've had because they give us something. You got to, in this league, if they walk you or hit you or make an error, that's where you score. It's hard to string together, 3 hits in an inning against a good pitcher. And, Nick Griffin's one that jumps out to me. And then Moten, too. And Moten's a freshman with a great arm, but we got to get him out there. And if it's not tomorrow, it'll definitely be next Tuesday and Wednesday.
You said you probably plan to start your position regulars for the most part?
I think tomorrow will be just coming off a loss. We've got some guys that want to – there's only 1 midweek game instead of 2. Unless I just feel like somebody's really banged up, I'm going to get some guys at bat. They want to play, and they made that be known to me last night when I got home through text messages and maybe a phone call. Hey, I really want to play. I need to get it going. I need to be better, and because maybe they didn't play last week, but 1 game or they didn't play, and they want to keep rolling, and I get it.
Gregory's been good at getting on base all his career, but he's got his batting average up close to 300 this year. What are you seeing from him offensively this year?
Well, he's been a pain. He's got 3 or 4 bunt base hits that have been huge for us, a couple of nice sacrifice bunts. He'll take a walk, usually gets into the count a little bit, and then he's got sneaky power. He's strong. I mean, if you go look in our weight room, we've got a couple of boards that say who's got the most, whatever press. And he's up there a couple of times. And he works hard, very dedicated, and I'm happy to see him have such success, and it's really helping the team.
Look at UCA, they're 11-15, but they're 6-3 in their league.
Yep.
I think they start off 1-6, so they're 9 and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's 9.
Well, I noticed they've been winning a lot more lately, and I think they might have just swept a road series in conference, or maybe 2 out of 3 for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're confident, and they're playing Arkansas, and they're coming up here and get to play in front of a good crowd. The weather's supposed to be nice. I'm sure it'll be a good ball game.
You mentioned still having confidence in Stovall and maybe just welcome to the SEC. What
Yeah.
do you see from there? Is it just a matter of needing to adjust to the level of play?
I think just you've seen him go out of zone more than is used to. And I mean, used to a guy that's hit for an average, for some power as well. And, you know, that batting average weighs on them. When it's not over 300, they don't feel good about themselves, and they're trying too hard, and I'm definitely seeing that. And, you know, then you throw in all the preseason accolades to a kid that never played in this league before. I don't like it that at all. I don't think that's fair to him, to take a kid that right out of high school and project and predict that he's going to do all these things, and it's just tough.
You mentioned the quick turnaround, and you guys kind of ran into this last year. I think when you went to South Carolina, that they had played Thursday through Saturday, and then they were doing the same thing with you. Is there any way you think that the league can sync the schedules, or you just think you just kind of have to play it where it lies? So
Well, you got to play where it is. I could have canceled the game on Wednesday, or you know, we could have made an adjustment. But we feel like that, you know, talking about next week where we play 5 in a row, we got guys that want to pitch. We need to play.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to practice. Might as well play. Get some guys out there in a real game. You know, it could be tough, but it's the way I look at it. It's April. The weather's better. You know, unless you're banged up or something, it's a good thing to play the game. You just kind of get a feel for the game.
Would you play Turner on the infield or just give him a full game off?
Yeah, he hasn't had a day off. Tomorrow might be his day off. It was a good guess there, Bob. And normally I've been playing him at first, but I think I'll bring him off the bench for a pinch hit, or if we need him to catch at the end, or whatever happens. I think that's what we're going to do with him tomorrow.
Coach, you mentioned that going to Florida, you know, you're going into a hornet's nest. You know, they're a team that has had struggles in SEC play, but what makes them so dangerous for you guys?
Well, first off, they're really talented, and you know they've got the number one left-handed starter in the league and the highest potential draft choice in the league, and you know they're coming off of being swept at Georgia, probably their rival, at least one of them, and they're you know, they got walked off the field. They took, I think, a 1 or 2 run lead going into the bottom of the 9th, and with 2 outs, they gave up 3 hits in a row, and so, you know, they got walked off with a double. And then they didn't recover, and they lost Saturday, lost Sunday, or they lost Friday, Saturday, because it was a Thursday through Saturday series. So you just know, as a coach. I know Coach O'Sullivan real well. They got a great staff. They have a lot of talent. They hit a lot of home runs. Their park's pretty jumpy this year, and they're scoring runs. So it's going to be. I know what he's going to tell them. This is the time. We've got to do what we got to do, and we're going to have to play really well.
Looking forward to seeing their new. I guess it's not new to you guys. What do you think about their ball?
It looks good on TV, and the surface I'm sure will be incredible. That's what I've heard, and you know they've got it fan friendly where they have some chain link fence where the fans can sit behind the stands in the outfield, and then they've got berms that seem to be pretty well packed most of the time when the weather's good from what I've seen, and it looks like a nice facility. And talking to Kevin O'Sullivan about it, that's what he tells me. It's really nice.
They're the first ranked team that you played in the SEC, but you think the other teams you played are pretty good, and then when you see what they did the week after you played them, probably reinforces that.
Yeah, I'd throw the rankings out right now. I mean, Mississippi State's there should be ranked. They just, you know, they got too many losses on the side, or they got off to a tough start. They're very talented, as you saw, big and strong and really good arms. You know, Kentucky's probably got 8 guys on the team that are going to be drafted this year. So I don't get too caught up on it. I guess they got to try to put together the RPI somehow, and they use that ranking thing. But we know what we're up against. It's just a good team every weekend.
Look at Riley. I mean, he gets a strikeout and would have won the game if the line drive goes through. What do you do with him now?
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably try to get him back out there. If not tomorrow, he's a guy that comes in, he gets a big strikeout against a big left fielder, throwing some nasty sliders. Goes out the next inning, gets a fly out to center. Ball's hit decent. Webb made a nice catch on one pitch, and then he throws a fastball and hits the guy in the backside, and you're kind of thinking, wow, how did he miss that far? So it was a little confusing for us, but you know, he's an older guy with experience. He hadn't thrown much. You're just hoping he can get you a ground ball double play, because he does get some ground balls, and you know, it just didn't happen for him. So we'll we'll just use him when we feel like it's the right time.
You mentioned in there, Florida's got the advantage of, an extra day's rest for their starters. How does it impact you guys, that they're pitching on 1 day's less rest? Do you think that's a major impact or something you just got to deal with? You don't talk to the guys because you don't want to put in their heads or what?
Well, you just have to change the routine and speed it up and get them to their day before the first game where they would have been in 6 days. Now you got to get them there in 5. Our Saturday and Sunday starters, we held those guys to about 80 pitches each. Connor went right at 100, 102, 105. He's strong. He's older. We would have liked to have maybe when you look back, maybe got him out a little bit earlier. But it's the Friday game. You're trying to save your bullpen, and you look over another dugout, and they can score 4 runs real quick on you, and you're kind of like, wow, we just got to go with them another inning. But if he pitches good, that's great. If he doesn't, Connor's not going to make any excuses. We're just going to go down there and play, try to beat Barco. He's really good, and see what we can do.
I had one more for you about Zach Gregory's defense. Everybody kind of focuses on the on-base percentage and whatnot, but it seems like at least in left, it's been pretty quality for you. You
Yeah.
made that throw yesterday. You almost got the guy out from a.
Zach has really improved as an outfielder. I think he might be a little more comfortable in left than right. Usually, right field is usually easier to play, so to say, and at our ballpark it's shorter. So a lot of times you just maybe stick a bigger guy over there that maybe he's more of a hitter. Zach's a good runner, but he's been making some really nice plays and covering some ground. I mean, came here as an infielder, so he's a converted outfielder. And, last year at this time, you just said he was maybe average, below average for an outfielder at our level, but now I would say he was every bit average plus. So that's good.
Congratulations, Zach.
You had Karen here, but she was sitting on the back table.
Where do you want her to sit?
It seems like